I'm Maria Turner. This is Morgan Alexander. And let's talk some Big 12 football. Morgan, who do you think is going to win the Big 12 championship?
Well, I think that's a really interesting question because it's not what I think, but it's what everyone else thinks. Everyone has Texas as a #1 favorite. Every year, it's Texas. Now, my question is, why? Every year with the same team over and over again. They're getting ready to leave the Big 12. Arguably, a lot of people think they're going to leave because they think they're too good for it. My question is, for you, is why are they leaving the Big 12? Do you think that they're good enough to win the Big 12 this year? And what is going on behind the scenes right now with this team?
Well, them wanting to leave the Big 12, I understand it. They're Texas. They have a name behind them. They want to step up to the plate and be a part of the SEC, arguably so. You're going to go against teams like Alabama, Tennessee, places that have made a name for themselves. I do think that they have a huge shot at winning the Big 12 championship this year, a huge shot. But arguably, I think we have to consider Texas Tech. Last season they went 8-5, and they have a pretty solid team. 18 starters that are returning, 6 new players from the transfer portal that are back as well. So,
And it's really interesting you say that, but I want to go back to why they're leaving the Big 12. I think it's funny to me because last year they lost to Texas Tech. They lost to Oklahoma State. They lost to TCU. And yes, they lost to Bama, which we all are like, okay, we can use that. I personally think, right alongside of what the commissioner of the Big 12 had said, he said, I think they're leaving not because of money. They have all sorts of kinds of money. I think it's because they would rather lose to teams like Alabama and Georgia than lose to teams like Kansas State or Texas Tech. It's a pride issue, and I think that since every year they're not winning consistently, now, you go to the SEC, it makes more sense. No one's raising eyebrows at you losing to Bama, but you lose to Oklahoma State, and everyone's like, whoa, 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 Texas isn't that good. So I think that is the issue right now. I really think it's a pride thing on why they're leaving.
You know what? I think that's very, very true. And yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Losing to teams that may not have the bigger name kind of hurts the pride just a little bit more. So you're right. It could be a
And
pride
they get
thing.
the best recruits. So yeah, Archie Manning and Quinn Ewers, and everyone's like, Quinn Ewers is a starter. Yes, he is. But my question is Archie Manning going to stay if he's not going to play? I mean, he is a highly touted recruit, and maybe he's getting a lot of money to be there, but me personally, I'm thinking you have 2 really good quarterbacks in that locker room.
Right.
But to me, it seems like it's a no-brainer they're playing Quinn Ewers. There was no real topic of conversation surrounding Archie Manning at all. I mean, Quinn Ewers, they're talking about he's an NFL draft pick, and he's this, and he's that. Last season, I mean, yes, he was injured, but I didn't quite see the Quinn Ewers that everybody else is seeing. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he will. But I think we need to dive into TCU a little bit because everyone just every year they want to kind of toss them to the side. But as of last year, they showed that they're recruiting good, solid players.
They are.
That are there to play, not there for the money.
Well, and TCU only having, the 2 losses to Kansas State, which I think that shocked us all. That was pretty out of the book, but, as Kansas State proved, they're nothing to play around with. Coach actually said something about that in press conference, that they're a program that's not to be played around with and that they are always ready to play. And then TCU losing to Georgia in the national championship, painful win right there, or painful loss, I should say. Great win for Georgia. Probably about one of the easiest championships that they have come across, but it is what it is.
And I think Kansas State is one of those teams, right? Like, I think it was a tough loss for TCU, but I think it was the best thing for them. To beat Michigan going into the college football playoffs, you have to have a loss on your belt. They played them more than once. You're not going to beat a team that many times, right?
Right.
So I think it kind of lit a fire for them, and that was great. I think also with them, the big topic of conversation around TCU is the hiring of a new offensive coordinator.
Right.
They lost really a huge hole. And they kind of took in Kendall Briles from Baylor, which is very controversial. If we can remember, his father was fired at Baylor after some sexual assault, misconduct type of deal, and everyone's kind of raising their eyebrows, like, why would you hire him? But he stated here today, he was like, I've known people that know him. He was not involved. His father's actions are not his actions. And the hole that they're missing this year is not their defense, it's their offense. They're losing Max Duggan, Quentin Johnston. So now they're trying to see, how can we reboot this offense?
Right.
Well, a new offensive coordinator that can bring in a new scheme, that's what you're looking for.
Right.
And the defense is veteran. They're going to be set there. So I think, him backing the addition of Kendall Briles is great for them because maybe this is a new outlook and a new way to change that offense. And I think ultimately, Sonny Dykes is one of those people, he's a people pleaser, right? And if he's willing to do this and bring into someone into this program that's not that looked that great upon, that really shows he firmly believes this guy can come in and make a difference for this offense.
I agree.